everyone, I hope you are all doing well. Thank you so much for tuning into my channel. Today is another day of my Under Hype foundation series and I'm going to test a new foundation for you, of course. And today's foundation is going to be a bit weird. This is the foundation that I am testing because the bottle broke, and this is how much I could save of the liquid without getting shattered glass inside. But you know, I'm doing this for you today. Of course, you might know from the thumbnail that the foundation we are going to talk about today is the Mac Waterweight foundation. This foundation retails for about £25 here in the UK, and it comes in a glass bottle with a dropper. And this is the reason why this foundation arrived broken when I ordered my bottle online, so it is not good for travel. This foundation claims to be lightweight water formula that's going to give you light perfect coverage, and it has SPF of 30. I think this might be very similar to the MAC Face and Body, but this one has SPF. Face and Body doesn't have any SPF in it. And of course, from the claims we know that this foundation is not going to provide full coverage. But anyway, I'm going to try this on my face, and probably you might think that this foundation is for you, and we'll see. We'll talk about the pros and cons. So yeah, let's get into it. So I'm just going to apply some on my hand, and when it applies, it is not runny. However, the consistency of this foundation is gel water-like. It is really cooling on the skin. You feel it when you apply it. My skin type, as usual, I'm going to mention that it is combination. I have some pores here on the center of my face. I also have some dry patches on my nose that I usually exfoliate. I'm using today as a moisturizer the Elizabeth Arden Matte Moisture Lotion. This is an oil-free lotion. I always use it and I swear by it. It's very good. And because this foundation is lightweight and water-based formula, I'm not going to use any beauty blender with it, because it is going to absorb the water in this foundation. It's just going to absorb it, not give any coverage. I'm going to start with my fingers, to be honest. I like to use my fingers with these types of foundation, and after that I might smooth over everything with a brush. So I'm just going to blend it with my fingers, spread it first, and I'm going to mention that this foundation, because it is a water-based formula, using a silicone type of primer is not the way to go. You know, it's the smoothing primer, Benefit Professional and things like that, because I think they might make the foundation crumble because they do not mix well together. So the best way is to use an oil-free primer or something that has water in the ingredients, or in the first two ingredients. I'm not sure if the camera is picking this up, but this foundation gives a dewy finish. It is so wet and tacky to the touch, and it gives a very natural finish. But the problem is it drags and streaks, so I think you have to work so slowly with it and carefully. That's why I suggested using fingers first and then going with a brush. I'm using the Real Techniques buffing brush in order to blend the foundation, because now it is kind of set and the water just a bit evaporated, so blending it is not going to move the foundation around that much, cause it to streak or shear it out. I think that this foundation might be suitable for all skin types except for people who have very, very oily skin, because it doesn't have a matte finish and it is still tacky, but I do not find any transfer on my fingers. I am going to build this foundation just a tiny bit, so I'm taking just a very small drop and apply it on the areas where I think I have a bit of scarring, and smooth it over with a brush. I think I'm going to get close so that you could see how the foundation is looking around my nose and on my face in general. The finish is natural. It is set, not transferring, but it is a bit tacky. So I think you might want to set it with a powder, especially if you have pets, because I have a cat and every time I wear foundations that remain a bit tacky, I get kitty hair all over my face and it is so itchy and annoying. So setting this foundation with a powder might be the way to go. But first, before setting, I'm just going to come close so that you could see it. I'm sure you could see that this foundation has a dewy finish. It is casting some highlight here on the top of my cheekbone without me applying any highlighter. So it gives a very beautiful natural finish to the face, and it is not as light coverage as you might think. Actually, applying it with your fingers might give you a better effect, and after that smooth over it with a brush. Around my nose, I'm not sure if you could see, but I could totally notice that it is a bit cakey here and settling inside the pores of my nose. Nothing that is going to emphasize dry patches, it is just settling inside the pores. Of course, I'm going to set this foundation with a powder, with a very tiny bit of powder, because I really do not like powders, and if I could get away with a foundation that doesn't require powder, I just skip it altogether. Actually, the powder I'm using is a mixture of benign banana powder and the RCMA no color translucent powder, because the banana powder on its own is very, very yellow. So I'm just going to tap it first, just like that, and buff it. The color match is perfect. Of course, I'm using NC30 as usual. Today I'm breaking the rule. I'm going to use some contour because it might go well with this heavy makeup. So yeah, I'm using this Compact by Sleek. This is the Face Form, I think, face contour kit. It has a contour powder and a highlight. It is in the shade Light. This is very pigmented, so I'm just going to take it on my round blush brush, taking the excess on the back of my hand and just start applying it. Now I'm going to use the Makeup Revolution Vivid Baked Bronzer in the shade Golden Days. This is very beautiful, very similar to the Hourglass ambient lighting bronzers. So I've just applied my bronzer. I used it as well as a blush and a highlight because it has a bit of a sheen. So as you could see, my skin is loving this combination with the foundation, the powder, and then the illuminating bronzer. I also used this lipstick sample. It's very cute and tiny. This is by Avon. This is the Perfectly Matte lipstick. It is amazing. They have lots of shades. This is the shade Au Naturel. Anyway, back to this foundation. Do I think it is underhyped? I think yes, because there are many other foundations that have the same consistency, that are lightweight, natural finish, luminous foundations, are talked about more than this one, including the MAC Face and Body foundation. I think for the price you can't go wrong with it, because MAC foundations are usually very reasonably priced. They are not so expensive considering that they are mid-range, high-end products. So this foundation didn't break me out at all, because I've used this before and I know that many people complain about MAC foundations breaking them out, but because this is a new foundation, probably they have improved the formula. It is amazing. Now it doesn't look tacky or feel tacky at all after I set it with a powder, very tiny bit, and still it looks natural and luminous, and it really lasts so well on the skin because it doesn't have any oils. It is water-based foundation, so I think you might really want to give this a go. It is really underhyped, because for people who love to wear foundation on day-to-day basis, this is going to be perfect for you during the day because it has SPF. Of course, I'm going to take a flash photo and insert it at the end of this video, and I'm also going to take a photo after 7 hours wearing this foundation, and you'll see them at the end. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed spending time with me and that you are looking forward to the next video. I'll speak to you very soon. Until then, as usual, please be safe. Bye.